Rain falling, bullets flying, wounded moaning, corpse flies buzzing. All around me I hear the now familiar sounds of holy war. My trench is filled with the scent and sight of death. As I reload my rifle, I look around me and witness the result of hell's latest affront upon the Lord's creation. They almost had us this time. Almost. I remove my broken bayonet from its lug. The rest of the blade is buried in the heart of the war wolf lying dead before me. It had taken 6 men to take the beast down, but by the grace of God, we had managed. As I mutter a psalm to Heavenly Mary the Defender, the blessed sisters of St. Cosmas push past me and begin their work. The yeomen around me cheer and kneel in thankful prayer. How I envy them. How I hate them. Cheer up, sir. You look half like a yoke fiend sulking like that. A rough voice breaks me from my reverie. I turn around and lock eyes with a tall warrior standing next to me. He is huge, towering over me and any other man in this blood-soaked trench. God had clearly seen fit to bless him with an impressive physique, and I had made certain to feed this beast of a man twice as much as any other. Not that he needed my help in acquiring food, of course, but things tended to get messy when Leif got involved. It would be bothersome if the old bastard knocked the wind out of some damned schismatic over a loaf of bread. Again. You will address me by my rank when in front of these Antiochians, Leif, I replied to the warrior. I would if I could pronounce the damned thing. What's with you people and your goddamn titles anyway? What was wrong with the old one? Christ on the bloody cross, if you lot stood on the front line as you stand on ceremony, maybe we wouldn't be here. Silence! You will not speak of what you don't know. I shoot him the look I reserve for when he goes too far, a usual habit of his. His eyes drop, and he raises a massive paw in contrition. Unfortunate. I could have used the opportunity to vent some frustration. My apologies, my noblest of lords. I am but an unlearned savage. God made me strong to fight, but too dumb to think. I ignore his insolent tone. Infuriating he may be, but Leif has served the Lord and me faithfully enough to have earned some leeway. And by the look of him, he has done his duty once again. The gilded lamellae of his clivanion are slick with blood. From head to toe, the man is covered in enough gore to fill a Prussian Wurst shop. Anyway, he says, mindlessly wiping the blood from his great axe, we should get ready to move back, sir. After this little scrap, I'm expecting we will be relieved soon. He isn't wrong. What is left of our forces on the front line are in no shape to mount a counter-assault. Already I can hear heavy footsteps coming from the communication trench. Before long, a fresh company of men bearing the spear of New Antioch upon the sleeves of their trench coats emerged to join the front line. A heavily armed trench cleric, carrying a large pax depicting the holy birth of the Lord, leads them. He glares at me with barely hidden disgust as he passes me by. I hold his gaze and match his contempt. In a moment, the reassuring rack of heavy machine guns being loaded echoes through the trench. The cleric breaks our brief staring contest and rejoins his men. Grasping his pax tightly, he raises his eyes to the heavens, rain dripping down his scarred face. In a voice made rough by 100 battles, he blares a battle sermon that echoes above the lamentations of the wounded and the dying. His soldiers join in the worship, crying their defiance against the enemies of creation lying somewhere beyond the fog of no man's land. Mere moments ago we could hear their incessant jeers and blasphemies. Now they are mercifully quiet. Somewhere behind me a rolling thunder is heard. The booming sound of 100 of our guns is as soothing to my ears as the beatific choirs of Mount Athos. I raise my head and track the passage of the thrice anointed shells tracing their way across the sky. May the ever-virgins speed their way straight into our enemies' hiding holes. May the apostates know no peace while they soil the earth of the Creator. A sharp whistle draws my attention back to the matters at hand. A lieutenant, conspicuous by the plumes on his helmet, makes his way into our trench. He raises a speaking horn to his lips and addresses our surviving troops. By the grace of the militant Christ the Lion, you have faced the wrath of the heretic and seen him off. While New Antioch has yeomen of such faith among its ranks, our city will never fall. At this last sentence, the bastard's gaze lingers on me, a sneer plainly visible under his waxed moustache. Your shitty hovel fell too, you beardless dog, Leif mutters under his breath, before I motion him to shut up. Your brothers in faith have come to relieve you. We will carry on your cross that you may return to the rear and tend to your bodies and souls. Rest now, for you have proven your worth in the eyes of the Lord. His gaze returns to me. You and your men may fall back too, he adds, venom dripping with every word. I offer no reply. I turn my back to the man and face my scutati. Some lie dead, many are wounded, all are exhausted. When once we were 100 strong, now there are less than 30 of us. Countless months of attrition have taken their toll. Unlike the yeomen of New Antioch, they do not cheer, they do not celebrate. What have we left to celebrate anyway? I take a deep breath and address my lojos. Men, you have made our forefathers proud. The everlasting general looks down from heaven and blesses you with her favor. Soon we will rest, and we will eat, and we will think of home. My men reply with tired smiles and nods of approval. They grab their equipment, the muscles of their hands trembling from overuse. It takes every inch of my will not to sigh at the sight of them. Dishevelled, bedraggled, filthy and emaciated, they are a daily reminder of how low our people have fallen. And I wouldn't trade a single one of them for an army of angels. Leif and I assist the men with the dead and the wounded. There simply isn't enough of us left for an officer not to get his hands dirty. The Sisters of St. Cosmas lend a soothing hand as well, taking care of our injured with all the skill and affection of a mother. Of all the damned papalists we have to endure on a daily basis, the combat medics of St. Cosmas are the only ones to treat us with dignity. May God bless their hearts and forgive their misguided faith. My men form a marching column. Those not carrying the dead and the injured shoulder their firearms and throw their shields over their backs. Leif and I position ourselves to the head of the column. Manister. Stand at attention, soldiers of the Lord! Steel-pronged boots pound the wet sludge of the earth as the men cry out the name of our Lord in unison. My right hand darts forward, firmly grasping the pole of our company standard fixed in the soil of the trench. Many of our soldiers martyred themselves in its defense today, their bloodstains visible on the blessed cloth. Yet every single heretical arm that tried to reach for it was cut down like the hands of Tiberius himself. With an oft-practiced gesture, I wave the banner to the sky, the golden double-headed eagle of the fallen emperor gleaming on the purple cloth. In the name of the true Rome and the fallen city, march!